Coming up on Rick Dancer TV, we're going to say goodbye to an old friend, Dave Frohnmeyer, who recently passed away from prostate cancer. We're also going to finish our series on Guatemala, a mission of mercy. And look behind me. Yeah, after years of talk and debate and talk and debate and talk and debate, Eugene City Hall is finally but a memory. Next. I'm not dead. That sounds like something interesting. Tonight we're going to take you back to Guatemala, to the Mission of Mercy. This is a series that we did back in 2005 for KEZI. These are local people, local dentists, local nurses and doctors giving their time to help the people of Guatemala.
This is a KEZI 9 News Special Edition. Mission of Mercy with Rick Dancer.
Hi, I'm Rick Dancer with KEZI 9 News. For the next half hour, we're going to take you on a journey through Guatemala. We're going with a group of 133 doctors, surgeons, dentists, and nurses and peers who truly see the world as a place without borders. Cascade Medical Team is not out to change the world, but in the process of taking care of people's basic needs, Guatemala is changing. These are the people of Guatemala.
I can tell you Guatemala is color, life, culture, and everything.
A country of 1.5 million people, and that number is rising rapidly.
I think we are a happy people. I think we love to work.
A country roughly the size of the state of Tennessee. A landscape of high mountains, jungles, big cities, but most small villages tucked away in the countryside.
Yeah, you just fall in love with them, and they're just, and they're all happy. It just blows your mind.
Many of the people still live in shack dirt floors. They wash their clothes by hand, cook on an open fire, grow their own food. They are survivors.
We had suffered a lot in our history, but we have one of the most richest cultures in the world.
30 years of war and revolution, decades putting up with corrupt governments, and the extreme poverty. All facts of life that continue to overshadow Guatemala.
In Guatemala, we need to have like something to believe and to have like hope. That's it, hope that we have a better life.
They believe in God, trust in family, and hope for their country. But the younger generation is frustrated.
The poverty, ignorance, and corruption, mainly in the government, that leads to all these cycles.
They now have a new government, a good leader.
And this one, for example, doesn't have any money, so they can't help the education, they can't help their own people.
They try through education to encourage change, and they graciously look to others for assistance.
In a perfect world, we could all experience this, and we could all be able to and people wouldn't have to live like this.
Teams of people like the Cascade Medical Team out of Lane County understand what's going on and the importance of the littles.
You get Guatemala or you don't. And if you get it, there is no vaccine. ¿Y por qué viene a la clínica hoy?
Gail Norris understands Guatemala. She and the others just keep coming back. The best way to affect people is to take care of their most needs.
There is so much need in this country, and what little we can do to help them is just wonderful. It's God's service.
So, like soldiers, the doctors, nurses, dentists, and surgeons come and do what they're trained to do.
The people were wonderful, yeah, and resilient, tough, and so patient.
And the stove team comes to make life a little easier for the people in the villages.
But I think right now we're changing. We are looking for another opportunities, and we want to be a better country.
Guatemala is a place of great contrasts. There's something peaceful about it, and yet violence is always a threat. It's a beautiful country, but you have to really look beyond the suffering to see it. Guatemala. Once you get it, there's no turning back.
So for years in Eugene, we've been talking about a new city hall because the old one didn't have the proper strength for earthquake preparedness, and we talked about it and discussed it and put plans up and then took plans down. Now you look behind me, the cats won, the bulldozers won. City Hall is no more. It's finally down. It's kind of funny to see City Hall torn down and new student housing going up. So Eugene is changing, it's growing, it's getting bigger. You understand what's going on here when you experience firsthand the miracles that happen inside the Cascade Medical Team Hospital. These are dedicated professionals giving up their vacation time, paying them to do what they do best, take care of people's basic needs.
The lines of people form long before the gates open each morning at 8.
I'm triage. That means those are all my best friends.
Gail and Margie Groshong are the gatekeepers.
For most of them, coming to a hospital is a terrifying prospect because most people come here and die. And so some of these people have never been seen by a doctor.
It's up to them to decide who goes where and whose need is the...
¿Quién es Brian?
It's not easy.
¿Y por qué viene a la clínica hoy?
In fact, it's quite painful. For some, vitamins and worm medicine is enough this time.
If that extends her life 1 year, or if it makes her healthy enough to go to school one more day a week, one more week a month, one more month a year, the changes are dramatic, just dramatic.
But for 5-year-old Marvin and his family, it's much more serious. 2 years ago, he showed up blind, deaf, and unable to speak. Eugene doctor Bill Cox restored sight to one eye. Team leader Gene Albert paid to bring Marvin and his family back for this second eye surgery.
And we had promised Marvin and his family that we'd come back to try to do the other eye. And so for me, it was unfinished business, and it was something I needed to get done.
It took Marvin, his grandparents, and his 16-month-old aunt 18 hours to get to Solala.
And this little guy was born that way. We don't know which.
2 of those hours were hiking miles just to get to the main road. But this is Marvin's eyesight we're talking about. It's his freedom.
That was very smooth, Wayne. Better than back home. We'll know tomorrow.
In the room across the hall, his aunt is in the care of one of the United States' top 4 plastic surgeons, Mel Spira. Cleft palates are all too common in this part of the world. Many live years with this deformity. They are outcasts. But Alberta is getting help. The Cascade Medical Team brings surgeons, nurses, dentists, and doctors to this hospital. They bring all their own equipment and supplies. For 2 weeks, they set up clinics, makeshift operating rooms, and dental labs. They check eyes, hand out glasses, do routine visits and major surgeries. Each person pays their own way. For many, it's their vacation they choose to take doing what they love best, practicing real medicine without all the red tape. It's also a chance to help the helpless, to change lives that otherwise would be lost.
They say mainly that he can't see very straight and that they're afraid if he falls down and hits this bump in his face, it might harm him or it might kill him.
9-year-old Francisco is looking for a new life. His tumor traps him. He has no freedom.
They say that they bother him quite a bit and he feels bad about it. He feels ashamed.
His grandparents made the 3-hour journey from their village to get help. They don't know how very serious their grandson's tumor really is. Without this visit, Francisco would probably have died.
We must get an x-ray of the skull before we enter surgery, because if it is anything involving the brain, he'd have to be done at a major hospital.
It's kind of a liberty for the kid to be actually alone and walk around without being supervised constantly. So it'll be the benefit for him of being more independent.
The next day, back in the recovery area, Alberta's cleft palate is still swollen, but already she looks much better.
Sorry, Marvin.
And then the moment of truth for Marvin. As the patch comes off his eyes, watch as his eye track each other. And then after a few moments, the first smile his grandparents have ever seen on his face.
So now he feels, I guess, a certain gratitude and also relief knowing that his child will be able to get about and, fend for himself, and that burden or worry is lessened for him.
And then the grandpa says something you hear often on this trip to the Cascade medical team.
And he says that he's very grateful to God that he provided these people with the knowledge and the will and the goodwill to have been able to do this for their children.
Marvin's life will never be the same, and neither will his grandparents. In fact, his whole village is going to have a different attitude at this point. And the little boy with the tumor on his nose, well, his records will be taken to a Texas hospital, and then hopefully he can get into Guatemala City and get the operation that he needs. We'll be right back. A good friend of Oregon passed away recently, David Frohnmeyer. He was a legislator. He was the Attorney General in Oregon for many years. He ran for governor, and he was the president of the University of Oregon. But to me, he was just a good guy and a good friend, just like to a lot of people in this town. When I found out I had prostate cancer, David was one of the first people who called me. He was not talking publicly about his, but he talked to me for about an hour on the phone to calm my nerves and make me feel better. And at that point in my life, that's what I needed. So tonight, in his honor, I want to run the story of my prostate cancer and what happened, because I hope that someone out there will be encouraged by this, as I was encouraged by his phone call and taking the time to just talk to me.
When the phone rings and your doctor informs you you have cancer, life forever changes. I work in the television video production industry. I do online videos and decided, after a lot of thinking, to make my cancer very public.
So here's the thing. I have cancer, prostate cancer. And I'm just shocked, just kind of stunned and numb and scared and afraid.
My diagnosis came in January of 2010.
I didn't want to die, but I also, to be honest, I didn't want to lose my ability to have an erection. I mean, that's a big concern for a guy.
I'm not afraid this is going to kill me. Prostate cancer is really treatable. I'm afraid of the process. I just don't want to do it. I don't want to live with cancer.
In my late 40s, my PSA jumped. At first, the PSA was 2, then 4, and that's when the biopsies began. It took 5 years and 5 biopsies to find cancer. My PSA was hovering at 20 when the cancer was discovered.
That was the horrible process. We felt so alone while we were looking for a treatment. And I remember we'd go to doctor appointment after doctor appointment, and every time we'd come out, we just sit there and cry all the way home.
The internet was even worse. The most talked about treatments always came with a host of possible side effects. Your temptation is to move quickly. You hear cancer and just want to get it out of your body. I resisted the temptation and took several months finding the treatment that was right for me, and I'm so glad I did. I wish in those early days we'd had a team of specialists like those at the Willamette Valley Cancer Institute to talk with us about all the options, not just the usual treatments.
So you can't rely on friends and relatives or other men in your life who've had prostate cancer and do what they did. You really have to go through this process yourself and figure out what's the best treatment for you, or whether you really want to get treated at all at this point.
Cancer did change my life, but not in the ways I thought it would. We chose a treatment that worked for us. Yes, this is not just your decision. Your wife needs to be part of that process. I think attitude is a huge part of cancer treatment, survival, and moving on. I didn't have to fight cancer. I had to fight Rick Dancer, me. Surviving cancer did have lasting effects on our lives. We discovered how much stronger we are and how short time really is when you think about it. We now do triathlons, our first half marathon. We cycle Oregon and try things we never dreamed of trying before. I'm not trying to glamorize cancer. There is nothing beautiful about it. But cancer let me stare death in the face and then walk away. There is something powerful in the gift of survival.
Guys, the best advice I can give after going through this process is don't rush into anything. First of all, determine whether you need to be treated with your different doctors that you're going to go visit. If you do decide on treatment, look at the side effects and make sure you're comfortable with what's going to happen or what could happen. And then remember, you will get through this.
Life is good now. My PSA is down to 0 for the first time in a decade. My side effects from the treatment are minimal. I look back at this video and remember that day like it was yesterday.
That's kind of where we're at. So keep praying, and I thank you. It'll get better. It'll get better. It'll get better.
I was right. It is getting much better.
About an hour from Solala is this small village, and these people can't get all the way to the hospital. The hospital comes to them. Eye doctors, dentists, and general practitioners come out here to give the services that these people need. Now, about a year ago, a Eugene dentist came up with this idea, a way to prevent tooth decay in these small places. And he says it already appears to be working.
Almost every place seems like a long distance when you're trying to get somewhere in Guatemala, which is why the doctors of the Cascade Medical Team take the clinics to the rural village. When the outreach team arrives at a village about an hour from the hospital, there's already a line. This time of year, it's dry and dusty in Guatemala. The sun is bright and very hot.
He was about 2050 with the pinhole.
Conditions that can be unforgiving for the eyes.
Para mí me parece excelente porque
He doesn't have the money to pay for an eye examination, so it's great to have somebody who comes here and does it for free.
A set of glasses, and he's ready to go.
pues está bien.
In the other corner, aches and pains are handled by a medical doctor. And upstairs,
it opens my eyes.
Dentist Tom McCready spends most of his time pulling teeth. Soft drinks are like water here. Sugar is a major staple of the Guatemalan diet. That's hard on teeth. Back in Eugene, Tom's done dental work for low-income people.
And I see a lot of decay there, but nothing like what I see here.
You see a few tears, but Guatemalans are tough people. Their gratitude overshadows any pain they may feel.
It gives me a feel, just a really good, warm feeling in here to try and help some of these people that are in pain.
Dentist George McCulley has visited this same village. He's tired of pulling teeth.
Hello!
Last year, he went to the school to try and do something about it.
Their teeth were wiped out, total disaster. And there was nothing we were going to do about it, be able to do to stop the problem by pulling teeth.
So he gave the village school toothbrushes and fluoride, enough to last a year.
The children at that school get a fluoride tablet, one fluoride tablet every day that they're in school. Toothbrush at school, they brush their teeth at school.
And they teach the children basic dental hygiene. Before the experiment, children at the school had an average of 8 decayed, missing, or damaged teeth. This year, it's down to about 2 per tooth.
So it went from 8 to 2. A huge change. I didn't expect that. That's not something that I would have thought was going to happen.
That is the thing about Guatemala that gets to you. You don't have to do a lot to make a change.
There's just a feeling that you get when you've done something that helps other people.
It's the basics the Guatemalans need help with, and they appreciate anything you can do for them.
I have not been to Guatemala once when I haven't been told that God will repay me.
George McCulley will continue to monitor the kids' teeth to see how the program is working. His hope is that he can take this to other villages in Guatemala. One of the things Americans take for granted is our stove. In Guatemala, that's not the case.
No one really knows how many Guatemalans live in the mountains or the back country of this beautiful place. Everywhere you turn is another village, another group of homes, another community. Some in places you'd never dream of putting a home. The women spend upwards of 6 hours a day in the kitchen cooking over an open flame. The kitchen is where Guatemala's future is changing.
Oh, this is really important for us.
Rebecca Galindo works with HELPS International. HELPS is a relief organization that brings groups like the Cascade Medical Team from Lane County to this country to help. Not just serving medical needs. Stove teams are changing Guatemalans' lives, one kitchen at a time.
We are talking about the health of the people. Most of people here cook with open fire or with no efficient stoves. That means that they have all the time the house full of smoke.
Volunteers install modern, efficient wood-burning kitchens for the Guatemalans. In 2 weeks, they'll put in more than 200 individual stoves.
You know, you're so fortunate to live in the States, and you have so much. And you know, when you come here, you just see how people live and the conditions they live in, but they're happy, but they have a really extremely hard life.
The stove makes life easier. Less time, less wood, which is good for the environment, and a stovepipe through the roof, which means fewer health problems.
Okay, tap her down.
No more living rooms. No more creosote buildup on the walls thick enough to scrape off with your fingers.
Oh, it's my people. Here is Guatemala, my people, brothers and sisters, and it's the health of them.
And because Rebecca understands them and their need to develop their country, organizing this stove project, she says, is just the beginning.
They are starting to understand the importance that is to organize a committee for different projects. This is only the beginning, and then I hope that we can work other projects of education, of economic development, of health, of other kind of projects with them.
That's how you change a country. The stove is seen as a doorway for the indigenous people of Guatemala. It's also a convenience, and they get so excited over their new appliance. That look, the appreciation, is why people like Bob Orlando keep coming back year after year.
Dios te damos gracias por la familia de Doña Juliana.
We could feed the world. We could change the world. If every American gave a little and teamed up, we could change the world. We really could. Oh, I totally believe it with all my heart. Yeah, we could change the world. We could improve life for everyone on planet Earth.
Yeah, you do need journalism because, you know, we live in an age where people have a lot of things going on, and there's a lot of different sources that are pulling away from their time schedules, and so they rely on us to be places and cover things that they can't get to. And it might be everything from a city council meeting with a hot topic, such as a sick leave or something like that. And so they depend on us to be there. We're there all the time.
Okay, so I've worked here how long? And I used to cover cops and crime. That was my beat over there. I used to hang out in that building and go through the building into the detectives area, and that's what I covered my news story. But now, it's nothing. It's a big nothing. The ugliest building in Eugene, don't you think, is now gone. And even the Friendship Bridge that brings the county to the city, I guess they're not friends anymore because the Friendship Bridge has no ending.
The secret of Guatemala is its people.
The memory is always with me. I never forget these people here.
It's hard to forget the face of need when you see it for yourself.
It's like the butterfly effect. You never know.
It becomes all too personal.
I'm giving back because I've been so blessed. I could spend months down here doing this stuff.
Looking away, ignoring what you see, is not an option.
If everybody did this, our world would be so much better.
Taking care of your own becomes less of an issue when you've seen your neighborhood grow.
And I understand that because we have people at home with huge needs as well. But if we consider ourselves to be citizens of the world, these are our neighbors as well.
We have so much in the United States, so much that we take for granted.
It makes me appreciate, you know, my life a whole lot more. I mean, it's amazing.
People in Guatemala are so poor.
The worst part is not only being poor, is having no alternatives. And that's the worst part of it. When you see young girls not being able to school and small children working.
And yet, they smile.
And these people have nothing. They have nothing. They don't, but they have something that maybe is more important than what we have. And they that thing that they have is that they have each other.
The emotions that you see, it's hard to explain that to other people when you go back home. You really have to come.
You go back to the States and you realize after being down here how difficult it can be, but these people, to them, it's just their life, the way they live.
We want to change the whole system, you know, let's change their government, fix all their roads, fix, you know, everything that's going on here. But it's just one person at a time.
I would definitely do it all over again in a heartbeat.
We'll never forget.
Por la obra de Dios. The teams continue to come back with people with this knowledge that they have so that other families in his town and other towns can benefit as well.
We all have hope, and we're all striving together to see that day by day things get better.
Hope, tons of hope, tons of hope. This is a country that needs it.
In Guatemala, we need to have like something to believe and to have like, I don't know, reason, hope. That's it, hope that we have a better life.
After spending time with the people, it makes you somehow feel responsible to do something to try to help. When you see where they live, how they live, and the determination with which they live, it seems to erase the borders between Northern and Central America and make the world that much smaller. What do you say about the Cascade Medical Team, a group of our neighbors willing to give up their time and pay their way down here to help these people? Well, one of the patients at the hospital put it best. She said when the Cascade Medical Team is in Guatemala, there are no angels left in heaven, because they're all down here, people of their country. In Antigua, Guatemala, with photographer Kurt Richter, I'm Rick Dancer. Thanks for watching. So I still get people walking up to me going, Rick, what are you doing now? What we do is promotion. We do media services, so we produce videos for YouTube, for internet use, for website use. We also produce videos for nonprofits, and we can help you find people to help pay for that. So we do a whole myriad of services and a lot of social media. So get in touch with us. Go to rickdancer.com or email me at rick@rickdancer.com. Heck, I'll even throw my phone number up here, but you better be calling me for business. Give me a call, let's figure out what you need, and we'll help you get there. That's really all it is. It's so easy. And there's one thing more I want to tell you about. It's called the A-Team Justice League, and they're sponsoring a walk on March 29th from 1 to 3 at Alton Baker Park. It's free. The whole purpose is for you to see awareness, to understand more about what they do. And what they do is they support families who experience autism and other disabilities. So they want to build what's called a sensory gym, and this is part of that project. If you want more information, you can go to ateamjustice.org, find out more about the run, find out more about what they do. Now we're going to take you back to Guatemala to 2005 when KEZI sent a crew is me. They sent a crew.